So, starting out with what's freshest on my mind, I just listened to the Yes and remix, Ariana Grande and Mariah Carey. I did not know what to expect. I will say this was unexpected, just because it kind of came out of nowhere. But when I heard about it, I was freaking out and I was ecstatic because, these are two of my favorite artists of all time. So, yeah, I was very excited about that. I didn't know what to expect going in because I low-key was expecting like a new version of the song, like a new production, like Mariah used to do and still does sometimes with her remixes. Back in the day, her remixes would be completely different from what the original song was. So I was low-key hoping that she would kind of influence Ariana to do the same. But I just got in listening to it, and for the most part, it's the same song. It just has Mariah on it, and to some people that's a good thing, and to some people that's a bad thing. First of all, I don't think I could ever hate anything that either of these women put out. I've seen a lot of opinions of it already, that it's mid, it's this, it's that. I like it. I love it, actually. I don't care. I'm just so happy to see these two working together. It didn't blow me away exactly. Dare I say, if I'm being honest, and this is no shade and no disrespect at all, realistically, Mariah didn't add anything to the song per se, and that's not in a disrespectful way. That's just me speaking objectively. It just sounds like Mariah got in and covered it, and that's fine. I'm just so happy to see them working together, and honestly, this is going to be a boost for the song. And it's entirely possible that Mariah will get her 20th number one off this, hopefully. She's a legend, and to see her working with Ariana, again, is just amazing, and I love it. And yeah, this is the highlight of my year as far as music goes already. So, no, I love it so much. Also, real quick, I haven't said much about her new era, aside from one community post, but very excited for Eternal Sunshine. I just haven't really touched on it, usually because I don't make videos about singles, because I feel like that's not enough for me to really say about a song to take up an entire video. And also, I wanted to experience this album fresh and review it all at once when it comes out. And also, Ariana's been very intentional about keeping the album from us until it's time for it to come out, which I appreciate. I saw a lot of people angry about that she's not putting out any more singles until the album comes out, but I like that. I like being able to experience an entire album all at once. Like Beyoncé used to do it, she would surprise drop her albums all at once, and with Renaissance she did it. She put out Break My Soul, but then the rest of the album we got all at once, and I think that's the best way to experience an album, is all at once, not just I don't like when artists put out an album and you've already heard half of it. Like they've put out 4 or 5 singles, which is very rare in this day and age, but I don't even want to hear 3 songs from it. I don't want to have to already heard 3 songs from an album these days. I want to hear the whole thing fresh and experience it all at once. So yeah, but of course when Eternal Sunshine drops, there will definitely be a review, so I'm looking forward to that. That's one of my most anticipated releases of the year by far. So Dua Lipa's long-awaited second single from her second album, Training Season, has finally dropped, and I've been hearing about this song for a very long time, and she's been teasing it for a very long time. And well, actually, it hasn't been that long. I'm sure it's been a month or so, but these days that just feels like a while. Anyways, it finally dropped, and I've been waiting for it for a while and anticipating it because I love Dua. I don't talk about her a lot, but I really do love her a lot. And Houdini is catchy. I really like that one. I really liked that as a lead, and at this point I'm a little not confused, but I don't know what she's going for with this next era. I'm not really sure, and I don't say that to be skeptical. The biggest question for me is how will this compare to future nostalgia? Are we moving away from that, or are we trying to do something like a sequel to that? Like I said, Houdini, I loved Houdini. It didn't really make as big of a splash, I guess, as a lot of people would have expected or hoped. But it's still doing very well. As if I recall correctly, it's climbing up on the charts. But I just got done with my first listen of Training Season. I actually listened to it twice, and I like it. Again, it's nothing that's made me like jump out of my seat. I like Training Season, and I think they'll grow on me in the future. But as it stands now, I'm just like, okay, cool, I like it. What's next? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I do think she's coming and she's going to really deliver with this next album. And her album is, one of my more anticipated releases of the year. So I'm looking forward to that. I don't hate it. I'm not jumping out of my seat. I like it a lot. So, I will be playing this one on repeat in the near future. And I'm looking forward to seeing, what she's going to deliver with this next record, because I'm very excited, and it's a very anticipated one from a lot of people. So Usher performed at the big football game that happens every year, the Super Bowl, LOL. And I was very excited to see him up there, because Usher is a very underrated legend. Another one that I don't talk about a lot, just because in recent years I hadn't really been keeping up with him. I won't say too much because I do have a video planned about that, but I will say it's very pleasing to see this Usher renaissance as far as the general public is concerned, because Usher has always been appreciated and loved in the R&B and the urban community, but when it comes to like his mainstream success and his mainstream recognition, like I feel like not a lot of people talked about him in the mainstream like they did back in the day, because people forget that, and I'd even forgotten just how big Usher was in his prime. But even outside of like Confessions, like OMG and the DJ Got Us Falling in Love and that era, his pop era, like he was like charting. He had like, at the end of 2010, he had 4 songs in the top 40. Like, Usher was putting out some hits, back then. So, but seeing him up there and seeing him perform his hits, it made me forget. It made me realize, because I had forgotten just how many hits Usher has. And the performance was great. Usher is phenomenal. I absolutely adore him. I think he carries that torch for Michael very well, and always has, and I've always respected him, and I've always loved him, and I can't say enough about him. I've fallen in love with him again, because I had forgotten just how amazing he was. But that being said, he has hits on hits on hits. So fitting all of that into one performance is obviously the biggest struggle for a lot of artists when they do the Super Bowl. A bigger thing that I noticed about his set list was that it went so fast, and actually he apparently had more time than anybody else, because usually the performances are 13 minutes long, but he had 15 minutes. But it was like once you would get into a song, or once I would get into a song, he would go to the next song. And I understand he has a lot of hits to get through, but oh my goodness, I felt like no song on the set list had time to breathe, really. And everything, and a lot of transitions, and it was just kind of, I don't want to say messy, but it was just a lot going on all at once. The flow, it didn't really flow all that well for me. And then the musical guests were all amazing. I loved the throwback, all the ones that you thought would be there were there. Alicia Keys, Ludacris, will.i.am. Was will.i.am there? Yes. Jermaine Dupri, Lil Jon, also Her was there. I don't think anybody's had this many guests before. Obviously the glaring omission was Justin Bieber, which would have been great. I think that would have been amazing. That would have been big. But even without that, Usher did great. I really loved the performance. It was great to see him back on the big stage. And it made me go back into I'm having like an Usher renaissance. I've really dived back into his discography, and this man has just so many gems. It's just amazing. But yeah, I loved it so much. He also dropped an album, but I'm not really. I picked it up and then I put it back down. It's not it's not good. But I won't get too much into that. If you would like to see me review it, I thought about reviewing it, but I didn't. It's not in my plans. But if you would like to see a review of it, I'll put one together. But yeah, all in all, love Usher. I'm glad that he got his moment up there. Alright, and saving the best for last, the biggest, the last but not least, oh my goodness, Beyonce, oh my goodness. Beyonce's next album era has officially started out of nowhere, and I still have not financially recovered from the Renaissance era, from the tour last year to the movie and merch and all of that. Just this woman is just ruining my finances. But I will say I am big enough to admit that I was wrong. As far as the 3-act thing goes, I have my doubts, like it was understood, I feel like in hindsight, that 3 acts. The first one was called Act 1 Renaissance, and obviously, there would be an Act 2 album and an Act 3 album, but I did not think that we were going to get 3 albums this close together. I was not, because this is Beyonce we're talking about. Like, Beyonce generally doesn't put out albums this fast. Was not expecting it this soon, so it was a very pleasant surprise. Also, I was against the whole theory of that she was gonna do like the house album, and then the country album and then the rock album. Like I was like, there's no way this woman is doing a country album. Y'all are out of your minds. This is ridiculous. Like it's not happening. Like this is silly. This is stupid. And again, I was proved wrong. And I mean, I'm glad I'm wrong. That's because the thing about Beyonce is always going to do the unexpected, and she's always going to do what critics say that she can't do. And because obviously country has never been anything that I gravitated towards, but I feel like in a weird way the universe was kind of preparing me for this, because in the past year I have found myself listening to more and more country music. Like recently my favorites, Fast Car, Luke Combs, and the original, and then I Remember Everything, Zach Bryan, is that his name, with Casey Musgraves, and like Chris Stapleton. Like I love his voice as well. Like I have been kind of find myself enjoying a lot of country music lately, and it was something I never really went out of my way to listen to. So I think it's just funny that over the last year I find myself listening to that, and then all of a sudden my favorite artist of all time, is doing her country thing now. So it's like, okay, this is great. But speaking on the songs themselves, Texas Hold'em is an absolute bop. I gotta go out and get my cowboy hat and buy my boots and all that. Like I'm ready. Like I love it so much, and it's amazing to me what this woman can do. Like it feels like there's nothing that she can't do. Every time I feel like there's no way that she can outdo herself or one up herself, she does it. And that just is so, I just feel so blessed to be alive at the same time as Beyonce's career. Like it just seeing her continuously one up herself is amazing to see. Like I did not think that it was possible to outdo Self-Titled, and then she did it with Lemonade, and then I'm like, okay, this is the peak. Like this woman, like there's no way. And then she did it with Renaissance. Somehow Renaissance outdid that, and I'm like, after the Renaissance era, which just ended, when it ended in last November, when I was walking out of the movie theater, I was like, I was terrified, because I'm like, there is no way. I have no idea how she's gonna top this, but I know she's gonna do it. And just a few months later, she did it. And it's just like, oh my goodness, like this woman just keeps going up and up and up and up and up. But but Texas Hold'em, I adore that one, love it, and her voice sounds amazing on it. Like her voice, she has a type of voice that she can sing on anything, and it's gonna sound amazing no matter what genre. 16 Carriages, I actually preferred that one over Texas Hold'em. The internet's been pretty divided on, which one they prefer, but 16 Carriages just, it does something to me. And I just love the message of it, and it's just very personal and very vulnerable. And I like when Beyonce gets vulnerable. I like when she lets us in. It gives me like a Lemonade type of vibe. Like that song would fit perfectly on Lemonade, honestly, because it's just a very personal song and it's a very vulnerable song. And she just sounds amazing on it, and she sounds amazing on both songs. But I'm very ecstatic for Act 2. I have no words. I really don't. And it's coming in like a little over a month. Same month as Ariana. So March is going to be a very, 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 very busy month for me as far as just music. And I'm very excited. But yeah, I adore these songs so much, and I love Beyonce, and I'm very excited. And yeah, I can't say it enough. Yeah. Hey friends, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I just wanted to put something out, and just so much has happened this week that I just could not make something or put something out about it. And I just like sharing my thoughts with you guys. But please, in the comments, let me know what you think of Training Season, or the Yes and remix, or Texas Hold'em, or 16 Carriages, or Usher's halftime performance, or anything else that's been going on. Did I miss something? I didn't want to fill up too much time with this. But yes, please, I want to hear from you. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Like, let's start a conversation. Let's talk. I really want to talk to you guys. I want to hear what you have to say. If you enjoyed this format and would like for me to do more of these, I would be willing to do more of these. I just always assume y'all prefer the video essays more than just my commentary. But I like to do both, and I do have things I'm like, oh, I'd like to share that, but I just didn't. I just never do. But yeah, if you enjoyed this, I could turn this into a regular every other week type of thing, and just new music dropping all the time, and just what's going on in the music world, and just other things. If you have things you want me to talk about, this would be the place to do it. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I appreciate and love you all.